Oh,
Hello and welcome to a late start on the West Ham Network. Wednesday evening for me, and obviously wrong way round again. Thursday morning for you, Cieran. How are you, sir?
g'day, Cieran. All right, mate. All right. I got up early this morning, bloke. 5 o'clock kickoff to watch that shit game. Absolute shit game.
I know.
But
I'm not going to read any of the comments from before we started, unfortunately, because otherwise I will just not catch up. But
you
I earlier just put 2 minutes, guys, and Randy, good evening to you, sir. He says, no worries, Budgie and Cieran. Mark says, let Kieran's Ange love fest begin.
Yes, Marky boy. What? You know, but I always have to put this caveat in. I didn't want either of them winning. Fuck all, right? Let's get this right, right? Before somebody calls me a fucking secret Spurs fan. But I'm fucking delighted for Ange. I really am, mate. All them TalkSport wankers. I hope they fucking apologise to him. After he told them, and I told you many years ago, he always wins on his second season. Always does. So I'm delighted for him.
He said it, and the media have made a massive thing of that
Yeah.
over the last few months because he's not been winning fuck all in the way.
Slagging him.
Yeah.
They slagged him off, Geezer, when he got knocked out of the League Cup, when he got knocked out of the FA Cup. Oh, yeah. Jason Cundy, especially on that TalkSport wanker. Yeah. Right? Even though I like Jason Cundy, but no, they kept beating him with that stick, Geezer. And there he is. Second season Ange. Second season Ange. In he goes.
That's enough about him. That's enough about fucking Tottenham.
Yeah, you're right. That's enough. That's enough. Put up, Big Ange.
The one thing I will say is, I'm glad that the cup or the trophy is coming to the proper capital rather than the proper toilet. All right? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I am not a Tottenham fan, and I am not happy they've won it. But I'm glad the trophy's in London. That's all I'm saying.
Even though all them fucking wanker Tottenham supporters in there don't deserve it, mate. They've all been slagging him and don't want him, and they don't deserve him. That's it. Right then.
You're so
we can leave that there.
You're so harsh. How do the birds cheer on their football teams? They egg them on.
Jesus, Brendan. It's fucking early for me for that one.
Southend's gone to penalties. I didn't even know they were playing. Oh,
No.
yeah, it's the playoffs, isn't it?
Some playoffs, yeah. I don't get them here, Geezer, so it's hard for me. Unless it comes up on YouTube later with highlights, I don't get them.
Yeah. Damien says, who wants to hear a funny
Man United are still shit. I know that much.
Bless you, mate.
See that fucking Hoyland, mate? He could. When we played him, I knew he was never going to score that fucker. I knew he was never going to score tonight. Should have took that fucker off 20 minutes before they did. He's absolute dog shit.
He is, and I've got to be honest with you. I mean, I was watching it with my pal Dave, who unfortunately is a North London Whitesider, right?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I'd never do that.
It was kind of unbearable for a little while. But actually, you know, for him, I'm kind of happy for him, you know. I have to say that because he's been my pal for 50-odd years, you know, and I'm happy for him. Like he was happy for us when we won it, you know. So, yeah, but anyway, enough said about that. That's why we're late tonight, guys. So I do actually apologise for us being late.
Blame Tottenham for that.
Good morning, Ryan. Steptoe and Son incoming, he says.
Good day, Ryan.
It's going to be Steptoe and Son and Rigsby next week because you're coming on.
Yeah, we sorted that one out, Ryan. If you're available next week, Kingy, have you on then?
Kingy, you're on, son. So don't be taking the piss too much, son. If you've done anything, don't bother trying to delete it because I will see it. Right, yeah, Damien, you're a letdown. He says maybe at the end of the chat. Story. Saying hello to everybody. Stephen Langham. Good evening, Stephen.
Stephen?
Does it involve Barcelona and Tim Steidten? Right, yeah. Just stumbled across a podcast where they were arguing trans women should be allowed to play women's football. I don't agree with that.
Fuck. That's a no. For me, go that. A big no.
With a dangly bit between your legs, you're a man. If you're not, you're a woman, right? So, as far as that's concerned, not a chance in hell. I would not want my daughter playing up against a biological man and getting, tackled and with the strength of no.
Yeah, there's no argument. You shouldn't be in it. If you want to do thing for a trans, get an old thing for trannies. Let them fucking have their own little sport together. I don't care.
Either that or let them into motorsports or something like that.
Just do not let them into physical women's sports because they have an advantage and that's been proven. So, no.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's that done.
And the other thing, of course, Cieran, I'll say it for you because I know you usually would. Women shouldn't be playing football anyway. Right.
What?
I said women shouldn't be playing football anyway.
Exactly. You know what I think about women's football. I think it's shit. But
I know you.
Fair play to them for giving it a go. That's it. I won't even watch the A-League here in Australia. I haven't watched women's football. Fuck me.
There are some really good female players out there. And, we seem to have a couple of them at the moment. And we've been...
Yeah, I don't care.
Oh, hang on. Brendan says, why did the chicken get sent off from the football game? Persistent foul play.
Jesus fucking hell. Brendan.
Mate, you can tell the end of the season's near, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 7:30 in the morning now. I can't deal with that.
Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, needless to say, he lasted 10 seconds.
Yeah, Damien. I can imagine what you threw in there, Damien.
Yeah.
I have no doubt, mate. You're very good at that.
If nothing else, Damien, you are opinionated, and that's a good thing, by the way. Aussie rules football. What do you reckon on that then, Cieran?
Well, there's one Aussie rules tonight. That's that. Sorted.
That's very good. I like that. That's clever. I do like
that.
Be careful what you wish for, said Damien.
Oh, yeah.
So Randy's saying if people are not aware, it looks like Steidten might be going to Barcelona.
No, well, whatever. Go wherever he wants, mate. Doesn't matter to us anymore.
Let Barcelona have that private jet deal. Yeah. We couldn't afford it any longer.
I'll tell you what, it's a bit chilly out here this morning, guys. I'm almost close to the jumper. Starting to cool down here, boy. Still getting 25 degrees during the day, though, Budge, but these early mornings are still a little bit cool.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, mate. Might even start getting a little bit of mist on the ground, eh? Is it that cold? Where are we? Let's have a look. Right, well, anyway, look. Mr. Bong's in the chat. Good evening, mate. Sad news tonight, and even worse if the Rent Boys win the conference. Orange time. It's about right.
Yeah, they should win that quite easily.
There you go, Damien. There's your one and only shout out for that one.
He's out already. Yeah.
Good evening, Mandy. Actually, do you know what? I don't think he is going to be staying another season.
Probably not, mate. Probably not.
quite a few. I've looked at a few Tottenham podcasts today while we were travelling back from work, and I mean it's only an hour, but I was like watching a couple of them because my mate who's driving, he's a Spurs fan, and he put them on in the car, and they all reckon that he's gone no matter whether he wins, loses, or draws tonight. So
yeah, that seems to be the consensus, but we'll see. He might actually walk Geezer. I don't know whether he would, because he's that sort of guy. Don't want me off, fuck off. He's that sort of bloke, but there's a lot of money involved too.
Yeah,
it'd be better financially for let them fucking get rid of him. But
yeah. Good evening, Bowbridge Johnson. Is a name I've not heard before. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you for joining.
What's that, Bowbridge? G'day, mate.
Yeah, Bowbridge Johnson.
Cracking name, son. I like it.
Yeah, I don't know the name, but yeah. So far, you're in the lead for having the best name in the chat tonight.
You're winning.
James saying evening. Everybody saying good evening. What else we got? Damien says, same lads. I made 2 comments. There are 2 genders, male and female. Gone. Kicked from the chat. Sorry to start off with this, mate. That's how we feel. Whoa!
You can't convince the believers. It's as simple as that.
Hang on a minute.
Even though I went to a Supreme Court, and they decided that's what it is. But there you go. Crazy that had to happen. Where you gone?
Hold on, I'll be back in a second. My bloody screen and everything's all just dropped off the table.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Mate. Hang on, wait a minute. I've got to find my fucking camera. Only on old school hammers, boys and girls. Gone. Oh, there it is. Look, found it. Fuck's sake.
Talking about as professional as fucking Tottenham.
Mate. What can I say?
Good efforts. I like it. What goes on here?
Yeah. Here we go.
Sweet.
There
That's
we go.
better.
I'm back. I think I might have got a bit or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, yes. So, where were we? The Tranny Cup.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a good one. The Champions League.
Damien, you've been thinking too much about this, geezer. What's the matter with you?
He's had some time on his hands, hasn't he?
That's a cracker.
Oh, great. Southend have got through on penalties. Well done.
Good for Southend, mate. My old stocking ground. Always had a good Beano there down at Southend. All good.
Yeah, mate. Reciprocated, Damien. We love you.
Yeah, we love you, Damien. You're fucking outrageous at times, but that's what we like.
Oh, Danny. Good evening, Danny was. Oh, what are you now then? If you was Danny or Danny was what? What are you thinking of Antonio being offered pay-as-you-play contract? It's the only way I would be happy with him being at West Ham still.
Yeah, I'm not even sure I'm too keen on that, to be honest. But
no, but if he gets a game, he gets paid for it. If he don't get a game, he don't get paid.
Yeah, that's fair. But I just thought his days were over before he got his car crash, right? His days were over then. And by his own admittance, he could only last 60 minutes at best. Yeah. So, after this, we need to be looking further forward than that. But if you want to do it from sentimental value, and I like Antonio a lot, give him that.
It gives us a chance during the course of the season to say goodbye to a player that is currently the highest scoring Premier League goal scorer for West Ham United. It gives us a chance to thank him for that. Gives us a chance to say goodbye to him. And for the real, Antonio lovers, and there are plenty of them. And I do believe that Randy is one of them. Randy or Damien.
I just look at it, Budge. If you're going to give another year contract, I'd rather have had Soufal and Cresswell still there, on the periphery. I think they'd probably be more effective than Antonio ever would.
To be fair, mate, that ain't a
But
bad shout.
that's just my opinion.
Do you know what? Sometimes Alzheimer's can get you.
We all like Antonio, don't we? We all like him.
Yeah. Oldham versus Southend final.
Oh, what's a crack?
That's come up to league. Which league is that? That's League One coming up to Championship.
Nah, was that League Two or something? Probably.
No, that's League One.
Is it? All right.
Hang on.
I don't get any coverage. I don't even get coverage of Championship or YouTube.
Crawley have played both of those this year, and they were in League One this year.
Okay.
So
right.
Definitely. Usual suspect said, Damien said, come on, Southend.
Yeah, man.
Did you see the guy? Did you guys see the Ollie Scholes podcast?
I did not, Mark.
Keep working. Well, Mark, I haven't watched it all. I did have it on in the background while I was chatting to Miguel, but I wasn't really paying a lot of attention to it. But I will watch it with avid interest because I do like him. I think he's
we all like him. Like you said, he has to work. He has to get better.
Yeah, of course, he knows that, and it looks like that. He knows that, Damien said he loved it, and Wolfie, good evening to you, sir. Thank you for joining, mate. And thank you for your banter in that chat over the Europa League game. That was pretty quality, mate. I've got to say. Thanks for joining, bud. I'd like to see them back in the league, as usual. Wrong bit. There we go. Randy, on a serious note, I hope that story about having to pay CSKA £13.5 million does not cause us to get a transfer ban, because if that happens, then serious questions on the board need answering. Yeah, now I'm assuming, Randy, that 13.5 million is a Alex Crowell payment. Oh no, hang on. Who was the other one that we had?
Vlasic.
I'm assuming it's the Vlasic deal that refers.
I don't know. Don't know anything about it.
I can't think of us having to owe any Russian team any other money other than that deal. That's the only deal that comes to mind. So I'm sure that's probably right. Listen, all the time Russia are at war with the Ukraine, they're not getting no money from no one. That's just the facts of the matter. That £13.5 million that you're saying needs to be paid will probably have to be put into some kind of fund that if Russia cease hostilities or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get political on it, but I'm pretty sure that at this current time, because Russia are regarded as the aggressor, we don't have to pay.
Yeah, I'm sure that board will take advantage of that as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they have done.
Looks like it, but I know nothing.
Yeah. We need a few like that. Keeping seniors on their toes. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Frog, good evening, son. How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, Damien actually rightly says Potts as well. Young Freddie Potts, when he comes into the squad, and most of us are of the belief that it will be in the summer that he comes into the squad.
Well, probably, yeah. We'll see that. Time will tell, Gareth.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
You know, what we can't be doing is having a whole influx of just the youth players, because that will ruin us. We need some experience in that, and we need some new players. We're going to lose a few players.
We're going to need to buy shitloads, geezer, or promote the youth, because we're going to be losing so many.
Yeah.
This could be the biggest rebuild I've ever seen at West Ham. Yeah.
Right, I won't actually put that one up on screen. Sorry, mate. Good evening, Ian. Thank you for joining us, mate. Just having a look to see if there's any other new. Neil, good evening, mate.
Neil.
He says Antonio's got to go as well.
Yeah, I think so. Makes sense.
Sorry, I missed a comment. Danny says Antonio will leave for full-time football, definitely, probably Championship.
Yeah, no, I think that could be. And like I said, he's still got to prove it to wherever he is. He's got to prove he actually can run again and play. We don't know.
Yeah. And like Ian says, love Mickey. I get the sentimental approach, but the fact we are offering them a contract of any kind shows where we are as a club.
Yeah, it sort of does send a bad message here, doesn't it? I
do agree with that. It does send a pretty poor message. Man City are letting De Bruyne go at 33, for God's sake. Thanks for your service, but it's time to cut ties with Macau.
Yeah. I think that's the genuine sentiment, isn't it? We like Mickey. Like, if he was given a role at the club, no one would bat an eyelid, would they? They would be happy for him. But as a continue on with this play, look, we've been talking about it for ages, long before his accident, about, we need to replace him. Can't keep relying on him. And he can only do 60 minutes at best. So, why would we be thinking of keeping him now? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I get that.
So,
said, in response to that story I mentioned, it is about the Vlasic transfer.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
It's the only one that came to mind. So thanks for verifying that, though, Randy. Good on you, son. Southend v Oldham, as usual, playing the National League.
All right. So they got the National League. So they got to win that to get into the Football League. So that's what this.
I'm confused with who Crawley have played this year. Then
they're not even in the league. So there you go.
Oh, so they're getting promotion into the league. Respect to Antonio's decision, but I bet he hasn't been on universal credit while recovering from his accident. It's about right. Good evening, Trini. Thanks for joining, bud. It's weird to me, but it's not easier to get better when you play in the team. But is it not easier to get better? Yeah, I get where you come from. I think in response to that, all I can say is that I was only ever an amateur player, but when I did play, the better the players were around me, the better I played. Because you kind of tried to emulate their performance levels and stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. That's definitely a fact. I can attest to that.
Yeah. Well, you played at a better level than I did, Cieran.
So. Yeah, only by luck, because I walked in at Surfers Paradise and half the players were ex-pros or fucking semi-pros. It was a massive step up for me, and I didn't think I could achieve it. But, I kept in the first team and I played a couple of seasons for them. So, it's like you said, when you've got better players around you, it's amazing how you can improve yourself, and test yourself. So, yeah. And I was playing against, like, current internationals and, in the Southern Hemisphere. And so it was a big jump for me. But you're right, though. You play with good players, and against good players, you get better. Yeah, or you get found out, and you're out the fucking door. One or the other. Sink or swim,
Yeah. So, Right, Vlatic, and they want us to COA, and we don't pay them that money. By the 31st of July, then Moscow will to impose a transfer
Mate,
ban.
Randy, we've got enough fucking diet fucking information about West Ham at the moment. We don't need any more. I'll just let it play out, guys. You know, it's amazing though. Look, West Ham supporters, we go to football and watch football because we want to enjoy it, right? And at the moment, we're not enjoying; we're enduring. We're enduring the stadium. We're enduring the fucking owners. We're enduring the bad football on the pitch. We're enduring a manager that, people are going, oh, is he? Isn't he? It's all enduring at the moment. So I don't want to endure any more fucking shit. So I want to ignore fucking CSKA Moscow. I'd rather ignore it till it comes to the crunch.
Until the red letter drops on your doorstep, you ain't worried.
Fuck. All right, let's deal with it now.
Neil Fitzhammer, good evening, mate. He says, no, Frog, DWP declared him fit as soon as he came out of surgery. Antonio, they probably bloody would. David Moyes is twisted Ballack. Good evening,
man. Twisted. Yeah, we watching it. There's a fucking what? Twisted Ballack. He must have been watching the fucking him getting a trophy. I didn't bother with that.
I know, I didn't bother with any of that. I mean, I was watching it with my pal, and I was using my laptop as the streaming service. And as soon as the final whistle went, I unplugged it all. He's like, hang on a minute, I want to watch them pick up the trophy. I said, I ain't got time.
Yeah, bollocks.
10 o'clock. I put it in the bag and I was gone. I wish I could have let him because, I know how he feels. Exactly.
Like any team, isn't it?
But it is Tottenham, so I've
got to give a mention, guys, to Crystal Palace, winning the FA Cup. How good was that? Delighted for him.
Beating Man City in the final.
Beat Man City. Villa in a semi, Man City in the final. Fantastic. For them players, man. Never won fuck all ever.
Two of the main trophies now are in London. Two of the main trophies that any British team can achieve are in London. That's cool. I'm quite happy with that. I'm not too happy with the North White side getting a trophy, but at least it's in London. At least it's in London.
Yeah,
not where I'm at.
I'm just delighted Big Ange proved everyone wrong, not that they got a trophy. But
Mark says he's surprised Sullivan didn't sign all the players from Russia.
Yeah, Mark, that would have been a good move, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
get 100 million of them in.
Damien's looking forward to pre-season. That's a good shout.
Fucking hell, Dave, are you?
Well, listen, at least he's looking forward to something, Cieran.
Well, if the last 4 months pre-season's anything to go by, I'm not so sure.
But Potter needs to go, he says.
Oh, God. Well, he ain't going anywhere, Damien, as you know. Needs to go or not, he's not going anywhere. He'll be here to take it on. And the first 8 weeks or so, then we'll find out whether the geezer's up to it or not. He's either getting sacked or he's not.
Because I know your answer to this, Cieran, already. But let me ask a question to the chat. Here's a little bit of fun. Postecoglou is likely to be sacked by Tottenham at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Right? 95% chance that he's getting sacked, from what I hear. Would you replace Potter with him, having the fact that he's just won a trophy today? Would you replace him with Postecoglou? Would you replace...
Well, if you think we've got to rebuild now, geezer, the only I wanted Postecoglou, as you know, geezer, 5 years ago, even before he went to Celtic, I was raving on about this guy.
When we ever met on screen, you told me about him, Cieran.
Yeah, and obviously no one knew about him, right? Which is fair enough. But I was telling you how this boy wins. He's a fucking winner everywhere he goes, right? But see the team West Ham have got on squad. It's totally wrong for Postecoglou. He relies a lot on pace. pacey wingers, pacey fullbacks, pacey fucking centre halves, right? And a couple of good goal scorers. And West Ham have got none of that. We've got Bowen. We've got Kudos half quick, but he's not rapid. He needs serious fucking pace in the team. So it would be decent. He'd need to replace 20 odd players. So as much as I'd love Ange Postecoglou at West Ham, probably not.
Like a new Somerville when he's back.
Yeah, he might suit. Somerville would suit.
Actually, I think I'll suit him as well. I've got to be honest. I think
even Paqueta might go well with it. Being a playmaker.
He's not coming to West Ham. That is not.
No, I wouldn't. I think it would be a bad move at this stage unless West Ham had like 200 million to spend on players that he could form a team. They've been ravaged by injuries this year, and he's been shit in the Premier League like Man United. But Man United had a squad there to do better. That's not simple as that. So that questions Amorim.
Saying, will we get Marshall back? He's had a blinder this season as well. As if we get Cummings from Celtic, nice future for us.
Don't know, mate.
I don't know enough about that to give you a definitive answer either way, or even an educated guess. I think Marshall's a very good player, and yes, he's had a great season from what I hear. But I don't know if he'll be back with us. And as for Cummings, I've heard nothing about him this season. So
no, I couldn't tell you.
Pipstick.
As usual.
Steve saying, surely nobody is seriously contemplating trying to play him in a Premier League game.
It sounds a bit crazy. Yeah.
Decision, I agree, Steve.
Look, mate, unless some miracle has happened with Antonio and he comes back and he's actually better than he was when he fucking got his car crashed. Like some miracles. Yeah, but I just can't ever see it.
Come on. Ever see it. We had the most crook centre forward in the Premier League until they changed the diet, and then you couldn't get him off the pitch for a while.
Anyway, I've always said it, guys. People that might not like it, but I've always said, "Fuck me, what's he doing, smashing his car up again?" He caused this himself. This weren't fucking someone fucking hurt him. He fucking done it. So he's cost us a lot of money in wages already. That fucker. That's been the cruel.
Even DMTB, like David Moyes twisted by I'm going to call him DMTB. He says, I think Antonio's time to go. He has been a great servant to us, but he needs to move on to fulfill.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, so twisted. I think he does. Yeah,
you're probably right. Randy, Steve McLaren said Antonio could be available on the bench.
Nobody knows, guys. Nobody knows. This is the point. Antonio, nobody knows what his fitness level could ever get to. When he's if he goes back there training and train, people will know where he's up to it or not, on the training field. And he might be nowhere near it. He could be nowhere near it. Nobody knows. You can't even judge him on what he was before he went, and that weren't good.
Yeah. Kind of, Steve saying, definitely have a role at the club aside from my usual road safety joke. Look at Carlton Cole. Overseeing the loans hasn't done too bad a job, eh? Well, if he's overseeing the loans, he could have done a lot better with Calvin Phillips. That's all I can say.
No, I think Steve, he's overseeing the loans and the young boys out on loans.
Right.
That's what
right. Got you.
Yeah, not bringing them in.
Them at the clubs they're at, doesn't he? As well as
he has done. Apparently, he has done a good job. But the guys that have gone out and loaned this season, have got a lot of game time and have done quite well. So
Freddie Potts spoke very highly of him, didn't he? Freddie Potts spoke very highly of him in that interview he did. I'm not getting emotional about Antonio. I would keep him, but that's just me, says Damien. I think people like Bowen and Soucek would want him to stay. There's some meat on
Oh,
them
I'd say
bones.
there's a lot of love between the players with Antonio. He's probably really good in the dressing room and good on the training field. But I just don't know if he can reach that level again. I'd be
No,
very,
but
very
I mean,
skeptical.
if you used him as an impact sub in like the 65th, 70th
No,
minute,
I don't even want to go down that road, though, geezer. Fuck me, we need to look forward. You know what I mean?
well,
We
yeah,
really do.
yeah.
Yeah, it's mixed emotions with that. It's hard to separate your emotional contact with Antonio and the practical. The practical is he shouldn't be given any contract. Emotionally, yeah. Would you mind him still being part of West Ham? No, not so much. I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah. How many times did we sign Carlton Cole? Three separate times. He came back twice, didn't he?
Don't know.
I think we got him on the original transfer from Chelsea, which was part of the swap deal with Lampard and Joe Cole. Not a swap deal, but it was part of the deal with Cole and Lampard. I'm pretty sure Carlton Cole was part of that deal with cash, etc., etc.
Yeah, mate.
But we
My
signed
memory can't go back that
we
far back.
released him and then signed him back, and I'm pretty sure we did that twice. The following season, I'm pretty sure we did it again. Released him and then went, oh, no, hang on a minute. We ain't got anybody. You better come back. Sorry, just got to end that. Right. Yeah, right. Okay, so let's just hold on. We'll say good evening to Phil. Don't worry, mate.
Hey,
we were
Phil.
late, but you are a little bit later than we were.
Yeah, we were a bit late too, mate. There you go.
Yeah.
Budgie fucking partying with his Tottenham, mate. That's why that is.
Good evening, Sean.
Good day, Freshy.
How are you, buddy? Anyone I've missed out yet? Oh, no, but Frog's got a valid point here. Keep calm. Tottenham Hotspur are still shite.
Yeah, they are, mate. Still shite. Well, Budgie, you went to the game at the weekend, didn't you? How did you go?
I didn't. No, I didn't. I couldn't.
You didn't go? I thought you were on the way to it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was hoping to get the ticket, but I couldn't go. So no, I didn't go. I watched it on TV. Well, I say on TV. I watched it on my TV. And
yeah, I stayed up again, geezer. I won't ever do it again, but I did stay up to watch it, and wish I hadn't.
It's kind of soul destroying, isn't it?
Yeah. Enduring, as I said, you go there to enjoy, but we're enduring. And for a last game of the season at the stadium, fucking hell, it was pretty lethargic, wasn't it? Last year, when he threw all the subs on near the end, it was a little bit more interesting. But it was, here we go again, mate. I thought we could really be a bit exciting for the last game of the season at home, and we won. And it was poor.
Another great point. I am skipping past quite a lot of the chat because a lot of it's between each other. There's no point now. Great. But this one's caught my eye. Bowen needs help leading the group. In my opinion, says Damien, Soucek has helped him this season. And trust me, Soucek will be there next season to help him again.
I'd say that's true.
In my opinion. I know there are people probably watching now, maybe on the replay or when on the catch-up or whatever, that are not Soucek fans. Now, would you replace him for an unknown that's not going to give us the amount of goals that he does?
No, I'm a big Soucek fan, but I don't believe you can play Soucek, fucking Guido, and James Ward-Prowse in the midfield. There's just no pace. There's no creativity. There's nothing when you do that, and he looks bad because of it. Ideally, him coming into the box late is what he's good at. We know what he's not good at, so we don't concentrate on what he's good at. But all these managers do, from Moyes to Lopetegui and now Potter, they play him because of that, because they know the good part of him is he's got 9 goals on the ball. It's only Bowen that's got more. You know, what's he got? 11. You know, it's a tough one. Is he that we didn't pay 60 million for Soucek? He's not a great box to box midfielder. He's not. His passing isn't the best, but he does put goals on the board. His goals have been important.
We're not claiming that he's Yaya Toure or anything like that, are we?
No, exactly. Yeah, or Vieira or fucking Roy Keane.
He's a fucking soldier in claret and blue. That's what he is.
No, so we can sit and talk about his fucking failures, right? Or we talk about what he's good for, and I prefer what he's good for. And we know he's limited.
One of the things he's good for is morale in that bloody changing room and on that pitch.
I'd say he's great in it. Yeah, great in it. I'd say someone like him and Soufal and Cresswell are great in the changing rooms. And I think we had a lot of it, you know, when O'Connor was around. I think he would have been.
Yeah.
I
just want to say good evening to Maltese Hammer, and he says,
Maltese.
I believe it's 40 years since the Bradford Stadium fire.
How is it?
A documentary on BBC Two about it.
40 years, I know, Maltese. That shows our age. You remember that? That's 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I would watch it, Maltese, but I don't touch BBC. Don't trust them. Don't like them. Don't pay for a bloody TV license. So I'm not going to watch their stuff. Anyway, enough of the politics.
Yeah, fuck the BBC. Just leave it at that.
Soucek has earned his place in the squad next season on the back of what he has done this season.
I'll tell you where, you know, when we had Declan Rice, right, the up-and-coming Declan Rice, right, Soucek's first season, when he had his first full season, when Declan Rice was so good at covering that back four and Soucek was further forward, that's when you saw the best of Soucek. He needs someone to cover his arse like that. He hasn't got that at the moment. And I think that's why it shows up his frailties. But there you go. Yeah. And we're not going to get another Declan Rice for a while, are we?
No, I mean, I think that Carlos Soler could have been that player for him had he have been played. Now, mate, listen, I've watched enough of Carlos Soler outside of West Ham to know that no, he's not a good replacement for Declan Rice. Yeah, but he's a good partner for Thomas Soucek, in my opinion.
He might be, but I think Alvarez is more a replacement for Rice. But it's all about levels, guys, isn't it? Alvarez is nowhere near the level of Rice. I'd say.
To me, Soucek is not Soucek. Alvarez is more a kind of a blood and guts midfielder.
Yeah, I know. He hasn't got the quality, the pace that.
Very tactical. He's not very skillful in his passing ability and stuff, particularly in the close combat stuff. He can ping a pass, that he can do. But like I'm talking about, you know, like you get these little link-ups between, say, Emerson and Paqueta, or Wan-Bissaka and Bowen, or maybe even Rice and Soucek. You had these little link-ups between them. They were playing 1-2s between them and stuff.
Yeah.
Alvarez is not that 1-2 type player. What Alvarez is, he's the sort of player that will go in hard and fast and get the ball back and then ping it out somewhere. That's the kind of player that Alvarez is, which, as a replacement for Declan Rice, only fulfills a fraction of what Declan Rice gave us, which is why you need players like Carlos Soler and, you know, your Ward-Prowses and stuff to fill in all the gaps. But you can't have them all on the pitch together. You know, they've
No,
all got something that Declan Rice had in abundance. Do you know what I mean?
we need more pace in the midfield and more dynamic player. Without a doubt, we haven't got it. We just don't. It doesn't exist at the moment at West Ham. Where you're going to find that, I don't know. But,
yeah. Randy, he's asking both of us, depending on the success of the transfer window, and that can only be determined by the time the next window opens, in my opinion.
That's easy for me. That's easy.
How much time realistic would you give Potter? And if he failed to turn West Ham around, how long would you give? So for me, I would say next January is the cut-off point. If he hasn't turned things around,
not for me. But you know my thing with any new manager: 10 games. 10 games. If you can't have a good start in them first 10 games and it's not looking good, that's when you should act. Don't leave it to January. It could be too late. You end up in a relegation battle and might not survive it. I think after 10 games, you know whether that manager can do it. You really can. I gave Lopetegui 10 games, even though after about 7, I realised he weren't the man. But I gave him to 10, and you knew that he weren't. Huh?
What's Potter had? 13, 15, 16?
Yeah, but I'm talking about a new season with new players, a new squad. I'd give him 10 games, no more. If he's still shit after 10 games, then you know the writing's on the wall. It's just, it is. But that doesn't mean I trust them fuckers to bring in a manager to replace him that's any better. And I don't. No. I don't trust
him. Cieran and Budgie, what are your thoughts on the Todd Bowley rumour?
Phil, I don't know it.
I
don't know what it is.
The only Todd Bowley link to West Ham I know of is that one of the guys in the investment side of West Ham is linked with Blue Circle Investments.
All right.
Blue Circle Investments are the main investors in the Todd Bowley group. So I know of a link, but I don't know of any rumour. Sorry, Phil. Damien says Potter was a horrendous appointment. Just being real. A football decision made by Karen Brady.
Well, that's all the rumours, Damien. That looks like how it happened, which is ridiculous, as you know.
Deal.
It's crazy. Lopetegui was even worse for me because it was a fresh start and a fresh season. Jesus Christ. And then we went and spent 40 million on fucking Kilman.
Money
Just never lost that money.
Yeah, with a huge chunk of money to spend.
Stop crying over that result, mate. I'd say Rich, because Tottenham won. Oh, dear.
Mark says he'd give Potter 8 to 10 games max next
season. That's me, guys. That's where my cut-off point is. 10.
Let's get Ian.
And that works both ways, obviously, Budge. He could be great in the first 10 games. And then you go, okay, you rethink. At the moment, I think he's not the man for the job. I never thought he was when we brought him in. But you want to impress everyone and get West Ham fucking supporters back on board. Make them first 10 games count, mate. If you can do that, well, we'll have to review it, won't we?
Yeah. Usual says he's 2 bobs worth. I like Soucek.
Yeah, me too, Usual. I like him, mate.
Right. You're right by us, then, Usual.
Usual. I mean, you can like a player knowing his frailties and his the things he doesn't do well. You still like him. Jesus Christ.
I mean, look. Let's be perfectly honest, right? Bobby Moore was never the most skillful player, right? He was never the fastest runner. He was never the
No.
He was always first to
the ball. He weren't that quick. But it was just brilliant.
Always first to the ball, though, wasn't he?
Yeah. He just read the game very well.
Tackling without giving away penalties and stuff.
He was just a good reader of the game, man, and a tackle one.
Yeah. So
That's
it
what he
doesn't
was.
have to be about what you can do with the ball. It's about what you can do while you're on the pitch. And you know, Soucek does a lot more than just, you know, what you see. We don't hear what he does.
It's like
You know,
anything.
because he's like a captain
Do you know,
24/7 when he's
well,
playing.
not comparing him to Rice, Geezer, but you remember, like, when we were raving about how great Rice was and what his potential was as he was up and coming. You know, because most other football supporters do not watch the full game of West Ham. They watch the match of the day highlights or whatever it is. And Rice then weren't on many highlights because he was complete defensive midfielder. And all the brilliant stuff he did wasn't on a highlight reel. But we get to see it. And then you can understand why, say, some Arsenal fans will be going, oh, I don't think he's that good, or Newcastle fans, he ain't that good. Mate, he is, because we watch every minute of every game he plays. Now they know. Now they know. Now, especially now that Arsenal play him a bit further up front. Now you're seeing the Rice that we believe was worth 100 million.
Yeah. Agreed, mate. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hang on. I must have missed some chat here. Yeah, I have. It's gone right to the bottom. Damien says, I would hire a top manager and then integrate a sporting director in.
Yeah, well.
Can you honestly see, Damien, David Sullivan buying a top manager out of their job, and B, paying them the wages they're going to demand or deserve? I think the answer to those questions is no on both counts for me. I can't see David Sullivan agreeing to us having a top manager.
You just can't trust him to bring in a good manager, whatever it is. You just can't. And I don't.
I mean,
now, he tried a sporting director with Skyton, and then he fucked it up.
He brought in a Premier League winner once.
Yeah. He was on holiday in China. Great idea. Fucking idiot.
Geezer couldn't win a fucking coin toss.
I'll give it a little shout out for old Fornals is in the final tomorrow against Chelsea, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I don't bet it's I don't rate their chances much. But did you see his goal at the weekend, Geezer? Fornals' goal at the weekend?
No.
I've got it on my phone. I'll send it to you. Yeah, cracker. Scored a cracker, Geezer. So.
Yeah, lovely.
Delighted to see it, you know.
I would like to see Pablo Fornals lifting the trophy again. But
wouldn't it be good, huh?
I do feel that Chelsea will be too strong for them.
They will, yeah.
And
they should be far too strong, Geezer. Far too strong.
You know, I would probably be lynched by every member of my family. Like my brother, my sister, my son, my daughter.
Yeah, fuck them.
If I didn't
go Real Betis.
You know?
Yeah, wouldn't go down well in your fucking mob, would it?
Yeah. Oh, right, we got that one. Right, here we go. What do you guys make of the story that emerged that Tim Steidten is going to Barca? I only heard of it at the beginning of the show.
Twisted. I don't give a shit. He's gone now, so I don't care.
You know?
Don't care.
Like saying, what do we think of Harry Kane going into Milan? Or whatever. It means
is that a rumour?
Never has meant anything to us what Harry Kane does. Never really means anything to us what Tim Steidten does. He cost us a lot of money. And he got us in a couple. He brought a few good players back on his plane. I don't know how much input he had in.
You never know, mate. In a year's time, Guilherme could be the best player he ever fucking did. Nobody knows because they don't fucking see it. He might have overpaid for it, But he could end up being a fucking star, but nobody knows because we don't get to see him.
Mark says he would love Hansi Flick, but I would recommend that you go and see a decent masseur.
Yeah, sounds like something you get at a masseur, doesn't it?
You know what I mean? Never heard of Hansi Flick.
You want to wave that to you?
The board cannot look at supporters, says Randy, if this appointment fails, because incompetence will be a high pitch, and truly, I don't see the board coming back from this. A change is needed if fails. Well, the thing is, David Sullivan, being the stubborn little gnome that he is, will not sell until he's ready to. And he cannot be forced to sell. Steve says, Manager Compo got more chance of me landing the job. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Damien says he doubts he'll be watching much of West Ham next season.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of people in that same boat.
And, I mean, the thing is, I have to be honest, I'm probably not going to be going to that many games this next season either, because financially, it's very difficult for me now. I'm almost a pensioner now, for God's sake. So, and I got nothing saved up, mate. I've spent every penny I've earned and fucking enjoyed it. You know what I mean? But, on that, I'm going to find it difficult to be able to finance going to games because it's $1,500 for me every time I go, Cieran. You know?
Yeah, it's a big lump, you know. It's become a fucking expensive day out.
Believe it or not, the ticket isn't the biggest chunk of it.
No, that's the easy bit. Yeah, it's the rest of it.
I mean,
but my mate, I used to
tickets at face value or better usually. I never pay over the odds for it. I would never pay a quid more than the face value. You know.
My mate sent me a message after that Forest game. Right now, we were going since we were teenagers, right? Or to West Ham, home, away. He's been a season since I left to Australia. He's been a season ticket holder at Upton Park all that time, and at this new stadium, right? And after that Forest game, and the last few years, he's been taking his grandson, get him into it, little Albie. And he said, that's it. He said, I'm not doing it anymore. You know? Really? All his life goes, he said, I'm not renewing next year. I was shocked. And I went, wow. So you can understand.
Till now. Yeah.
Huh?
So basically, he's been going from the early 70s till now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying regularly going every week.
Yeah. Since the early 70s, guys, he's been going. And he said, that's it. He said, even he was only doing it the last couple of years for his grandson, to get him involved. But he said, just not enjoying it. He said, it's not a good day out. He don't like the stadium, the effort to get there, and the cost now. He said, no. He said, that's it. I'm giving up the season ticket. And I went, wow. Well, and apparently there's a lot of people doing the same.
Yep.
This shows, the old school West Ham fans are starting to go, fuck this.
There was something like 16,000 not renewed this year. Something in that region.
Yeah, I don't know what the number. I know it's low, at the moment, but people sometimes change their minds when it gets closer to a season, doesn't it? And then they think, fuck it just might be better. But he's been suffering it for that last two seasons in the Premier League under Moyes, and now this season he said, no. He said, that's enough. He said, I'm sick of watching shit.
Yeah.
There you go.
Them wankers on the Bummers channels were calling him Decline Rice not so long ago.
Absolutely usual they were, weren't they? Had a few average games and then they were on his case.
Yeah, of course. I remember saying when watching Rice live that he stood head and shoulders above most other players. Awareness, intelligence, time on the ball, and ability to control a game. He has it all.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
And now,
Yeah, and I think so. We recognise that before anyone else.
As West Ham fans, it's my belief that we should take pride in that we developed that player to be who he is, and he will represent England for a long time to come, and perhaps be the next captain. And I think we should be happy for that, because
he will be the next captain, guys. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, that is the guy that will get England somewhere.
I think he'll be the next captain of Arsenal if he stays there. He'll be their captain too. But this is it. Pundits were the same about, I'm not sure about Declan Rice. I heard him say it many, many times when he's still at West Ham. Yeah, I'm not sure. But they don't, same these pundits don't watch every 90 minutes of West Ham.
Yeah,
they don't. Right. They didn't know what we thought we had. And we did have it. So.
Just want to quickly say there are 218 people watching. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you haven't already, click the like button, please do. And if you're not already a member, subscribed, please click the subscribe button. It's all free. Don't cost you.
And our segments, Nick. We need to put the segment up this week, guys. Up.
Do we?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh,
we don't have to do it yet, but we do it at some stage.
Let's do it. While we've got it fresh in the mind, before people start screaming for it, mate. Let's have it.
Hey!
Crook and Shark Watch. Go on, son. Yeah. Let's have it.
Just a Shark Watch this here, geezer. And you know what? While we were sitting here last week talking, that's when it happened, right? Right when we were on live here. And down in South Australia, a boy again out swimming, and bang, got fucking attacked really badly. He was... they chewed him up, but they got him back to the beach, and they had a drone going over, and they'd actually put all these screens around him on the beach while the paramedics were dealing with him, because I think he'd done his leg really bad. And they got him to hospital, and he was fighting for his life, apparently. And that's all I heard then for a few days. I was trying to look, what happened to him. But he survived. He survived the shark attack, so... near fatal, as they put it. And some guy then started flying a drone out on that beach, and they found this 3 meter that was swimming around there after a couple of days later. And it looks from the drone footage like a mako, not a great white or a tiger. It looks like a mako shark. Don't know for sure. They never said what it was. But yeah, and they were bringing boats out and trying to drive the shark away from the beach area. And shut the beach for anyone swimming. But yeah, the poor fucker, he's alive. I don't know how bad his leg is. Maybe I didn't give you any details about amputating him, or didn't say. But obviously he lost a lot of blood. So, but he survived. But yeah, another shark attack.
That's got to be nearly 10 chew-ups since Christmas, isn't it? Or since just before Christmas.
That's been a lot, geezer. Since December, yeah. We've had 4 deaths, I think, about 6 or 7 total attacks, which is a lot.
It's amazing.
So they're all trying to figure out why.
I reckon our Shark and Croc Watch is going to take off, mate. I reckon we'll be international in a minute, mate.
Yeah. Oh, dear. We're just south of Adelaide, guys, the beach. It had a real Aboriginal name. I can't remember what it was called. The beach itself. But yeah, another one bites the dust almost.
Oh. That's Europa League. Great. I love it. Yeah. Barcelona probably only the bigger circus than West Ham. Yeah, mate. Yeah, they are a circus at the moment. Well, let's look forward to the final game of the season this Sunday.
Yeah.
Everybody kicks off at the same time, so
Yeah.
West Ham can get a slot on the TV because we are playing Ipswich. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Ipswich, West Ham. Yeah, that's the game. I get it live, geezer. There you go.
It's a game that means nothing in the bigger scheme of the league, but to us, it's a must-win. Surely.
Yeah.
Surely must win.
It should be.
I mean, if like the Wizard can't win this, right, then surely he has to go at the end of the season. For me.
Who?
I don't. Potter.
Potter? No, it's not going to happen, dude. It's not going to happen.
If he can't beat Ipswich, who are rock bottom.
But you've got to have owners and a management system in place that recognises that and go, right, it's just not the man, and fuck him off. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They believe that he'll do all right next year and be in, the top 10 or 12. And they'll be happy with that. And they won't get rid of him, guys. I guarantee you, that boy's here, whether you like it or not. So around that sun setting. He's here to stay, regardless of this result, because it's so meaningless, this result.
Neil wants to know. He says, eaten by crocs taking a dip in the river, eaten by sharks taking a paddle in the sea, bitten by a poisonous spider taking a dump. What is attractive about us?
Good question, geezer. Neil, I don't know. There's a lot of things that attack you and bite you here. That's all I can say, Neil. You just got to get used to them.
I have a theory on the next question. See, now, Croc and Shark Watch is actually gaining momentum tonight. Look, question for Croc Watch. What are you more likely to survive, Croc attack or shark attack? It's my opinion that you are more likely to survive a shark attack because normally sharks bite only as an inquisitive kind of. They ain't got hands. They can't feel. Their eyes ain't good enough to see what they're actually going up to bite. And if it ain't got fat and blubber, that's why there are so many shark survivors. You don't hear of that many crocodile survivors in comparison, I don't think. I think crocodiles are more likely to take you to the bottom. Even if they don't eat you, you're going to drown. That's my opinion.
There's
You're the professional,
yeah, well,
you know.
The fact is, if you get attacked by a croc, 9 out of 10 times you're dead, right? You ain't surviving it because they won't attack you, on the land. It's very rare because they're quick over about 2 or 3 meters, crocs, right? And that's it. You can easily, keep your distance from a croc on land. So it's not that. It's you being swimming in that creek or that river and they come along and get you. You're fucked. They grab you, mate. They drag you down and they drown you first. Then they'll wedge you under some bushes, or mangroves and keep you there and come back and feed on you. That's what they like to do. So with sharks, most of shark attacks are fucking by accident. They actually attack and then they fuck off because they think it's mistaken identity, if you like, a lot of it.
Yeah.
And so you are more, and plus there's more people in the ocean than there is in bloody rivers and creeks. So there's obviously a lot more shark attacks. But unless you're getting bit by a great white, you've got a chance to survive. Great white, you're fucked. You just snap your leg off and you'll bleed to death. And plus, once you're out in the ocean, get you in time for you to bleed out. Most people bleed out from the shark attack. You need paramedics there real quick, tourniquet everything up, get you fucking back. That's the problem. It's blood loss with shark attack. With crocs, mate, if you're in that river, you're fucked. I remember an Aboriginal guy, right? I'll never forget this one. One of the first stories I heard about a croc attack here in Australia. An Aboriginal boy was washing his face at the side of the creek, right? And his name was Johnny Banjo. It made me laugh when I heard the name. I always remembered it, Johnny Banjo. And a croc came up and grabbed him by the head and he pulled back. And his teeth scraped all his head, ripped his head open, but he got away from the croc. That's about the only croc fucking attack I've seen at this as well. Yeah, good old Johnny Badger. But yeah, it is blood loss mainly from shark attacks.
Yeah. Frog says sharks are such moody bastards.
They are moody fuckers, so you can't pick them, mate. You can't pick them. But most of them, they don't attack humans for the sake of attacking humans. It's unusual. But believe, if they did, there'd be shark attacks every day, mate. Because, like I said, you see that Mr. Drone, his footage over Bondi Beach now. There's fucking loads of these sharks. They'd be attacking everyone, you know what I mean? It'd be a free-for-all. But they don't. Especially, they do the surfers, right? Because the shape of that surfboard can look like a seal or whatever. Yeah, it looks like food as they come up from underneath.
Whatever. It looks like, yeah.
You see a lot of surfers, right, with their board, with a big fucking mouthpiece out of their board where the sharks come up and bit the board. And that you've seen them surfboards and fiberglass just snaps a fucking big, like U-shaped fucking crack out of it. You go, Jesus Christ.
The average bite force on a great white shark is something like 1/4 of a ton.
All right. Yeah. It's
half a ton, maybe. I know.
I don't know what it is, but it's fierce.
Part of a ton, and it was just an amazing amount. And I thought, and that's an average great white. I mean, we're talking about what, 8 to 10 meter average?
No, they're not that. No, not that big. Most great whites are about 4 meters. Yeah, big great whites about 4 meters.
I mean, 8 to 10 feet.
Yeah. 3 to 4 meters is the average. That's a big shark. 3 to 4. I mean, that's a big shark.
Right. I actually meant feet, not meters.
Yeah. You're right. About 3 meters is
10 feet is about an average shark size, white shark size. Yeah. So, they're saying that an 8 to 10 foot great white shark can bite with the force of like 1/4 or half a ton.
It's frightening force. If you can snap a fucking surfboard in half, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Imagine what them big fucking 4 meter bastards can bite like.
Yeah, I know.
And they've got like double jaw on them and all, haven't they? Because they can actually operate the teeth separate from the actual jaw itself. In them white sharks, their fucking teeth can drop down like that.
They've got rows and rows of teeth.
And they rotate.
Break a few, they just replace them.
They keep growing them all their lives. They keep growing.
Here you go. You want to fuck about in their fucking little garden, mate? That's up to you. You want to have a little swim out there and a surf?
Yeah. No.
Up to you. But like I said, most of the time you're fine until you're not.
Yeah. What are the chances of Delap signing off with a hat trick? Thanks, love.
Fuck's sake, Neil. Don't give me nightmares. Well, then we'll sign him. Then we'll sign him up, guys.
Good evening, Mark R. He's asking any Komodo dragon update. No, mate.
No Komodo dragons, mate. Hang on,
Randy's saying that both Brady and Sullivan should take responsibility for both appointments, and they are both bad, and they should not be allowed to make another coach appointment other than DOF going forward. Yeah, good points. Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, who's going to stop them? Nobody. No one's going to stop them. Not even a director of football is going to stop them, are they? Let's be fair. We've tried it and it ain't worked. They still got involved. Yeah, get her out of the boardroom. Every song low kind of thing. Croc Attack or Love Bite from Janet Street Porter.
Fucking 50-50 there, usual.
Yeah, Neil straight in. Croc, please, usual.
Yeah, they were some fucking chopper she had on her, didn't she?
Oh, great. She was brilliant. I love
Some
her.
crackers. Getting the use.
Getting your ute slammed into by a camel is no fun either.
No.
We had those over there until a mate went over there and hit one.
Oh, fuck, you don't want to be doing that, Frog, man. They're fucking huge. You don't want to be hitting a roo. Never mind, I've been in vehicles where we steamed along the road and a roo's jumped out in front of us and we smashed it to bits. But lucky enough on the ute we're in, we had a big bull bar on the front. Because I've seen cars being hit by kangaroos, or the other way around, actually. But they smash the fuck out of your car, man. Your whole front end's fucked. Right? Yeah. But camels, they reckon there's over 1.5 million feral camels out west. So you don't want to be fucking hitting one of them. Fuck me, it's all over, mate.
Yeah. Just quickly, are they 1 ump or 2 umps?
I think they're one, mainly. I think it could be both, Geezer. Could be both, because they're classed as a feral animal now. You know, I know a geezer, I watch his shit now and again. He goes out and shoots them on his property, right? He's got a property the size of fucking Wales. And he goes out every now and then, he has to cull them and kill them. And he kills about 130 in a day, camels.
Wow.
Because they take the water from his cattle, right? They take all the water, so he has to fucking get rid of them after his cattle die. So he goes and shoots the fuckers.
Mate, there's a man who likes his camel toes.
Yeah, if you're a camel lover, that might not be the program to watch for you. Does some great headshots though. Fucking see them drop.
What's he do with the toes? Janet Street Porter could eat an apple through a letterbox.
No, guess not. Fuck, yeah. Fucking screamers, weren't they?
Oh, mate. Ian says you must be mad to go near a river or a creek, a bit like when in Florida. More than likely a gator in most expanses of water. Absolutely.
No.
I saw a funny meme the other day. There was these American guys in a truck or a ute or whatever you want to call it. And they go, oh, we've caught a massive alligator. And this thing's about 6 foot long, right? And in the next picture, there's a load of Aussies in their ute with a great big salty hanging out of both sides of this ute. It's about 25 foot long. And they go, oh, that's cute. And I just thought that's fucking typical Aussie humour. You know what I mean? It was brilliant.
You got to remember, like America, like their alligators are down the south there in Florida. We're the same with the crocs. They're only up from about Townsville up in the north of Queensland. Down here, I can swim in any creek. There's no crocs down here, too far south. You know, it's only up there in the tropics, basically.
Neil says, do you know that pound for pound, a German Shepherd has a greater bite power than a Great White?
Gee, I would have thought maybe a Bull Terrier might.
And if that is true, I would still rather get into a fight with a German Shepherd.
Yeah, I think so. Survive that.
I'm telling you now, I can and have pulled a German Shepherd's mouth open to get a Yorkshire Terrier out of it.
Yeah.
So I know that I can do that to a German Shepherd. I
But
can't do it to a bulldog, so I ain't trying a fucking shark. All right.
yeah. But a shark's mouth is a lot fucking bigger than a German Shepherd, isn't it?
And the teeth are
That's the problem.
sharper than you can imagine. Right. Listen, I've got to be honest with you. I'm going to skip some of the footballing comments because I ain't interested in football at the moment. It's
Yeah,
boring.
they're bored with it now, mate. They're bored with the
Boring.
football bollocks.
But Rich is asking, is anyone going Sunday? So
Yeah, we don't know. I'm not. Tell you that. I might be going. Be a bit too far.
Yeah.
Even though the away day at Ipswich could be a good day out. I'm kidding that. Could be a good day out.
Frog says, lovely dog shepherds wouldn't fuck with a Malinois, though, either. Which is a much better dog than a German Shepherd in every sense of the word when it comes to working dogs.
What do they look like, geezer? That Malinois thing. What do they look like?
They look like a smaller version of a German Shepherd. It's the Belgian.
Not
you might know it as the Belgian Shepherd.
Okay.
The Belgian, French, German police, not so much the German police, but German police force, around near the Belgian border do actually use Malinois. That's not actually spelt correctly, but they do use the Malinois because they are slightly smaller by about 1.5 inches in height at the shoulder, maybe 1.5 inches in length of body. But they are, and I'm probably going to get called out for this, but I have done my research and I do know quite a lot about dogs. I've written a book about dogs. So I'm going to say that the Malinois is more capable than the German Shepherd at police stroke military use. Even though they're slightly smaller and they don't carry as much weight, they got a far bigger impact when they hit you. Because they hit you an hour.
When I was working out west, right, I had to deal with all these landowners, right, when we were doing the power lines.
Yeah.
And I was driving through there, and the landowner come over. He's in one of them little buggies, right? He had his shotgun on the back, right? Right old boy, right?
Yeah.
And he had sheep in his land, right? And I met him, and he was really good old boy. And he knows we're coming through his property to put in these power lines.
Yeah.
So he was fine with it, right? Because he gets paid a certain amount for every tower we put up on his land.
Yeah.
I'm not whether he's happy with it. He don't have a choice. But when I started going through the gates and got into some of these paddocks, there was all these sheep, right, fucking over. And then I saw this big white dog, right? It looked like a fucking wolfhound, really ugly head, whatever. And I was seeing him running towards this lamb. It's lambing season. And he ran it, and I went, fuck, he's going to kill that fucking lamb. I thought it was a wild dog. But he went and grabbed the lamb, it was away from the herd, if you like, and he fucking grabbed him by the neck, and he ran back over and dropped it next to the mother. And I was going, what the fuck? And then I saw another one. And then when I saw the landowner later, I said, what the fuck is it with them two dogs? He said, they look after the sheep. That's their job. They keep the lambs next to them and stop any other wild dogs or foxes getting near them. They are the most ferocious dog you'll ever see. And he told me the name of it. I've forgotten, right? I've forgotten the name of it. But I was amazed, right? He doesn't have to look after the sheep then. He just puts the two dogs in the paddock. They look after the sheep. And they look after the lambs. And they protect them. That's all they do is protect the sheep. It's mental. It was fucking amazing to me. And there you go. I can't remember the name of the dog. But,
They probably come under the main category of Aussie cattle dog.
Yeah, it weren't a cattle dog, geezer. I know what cattle dogs look like, you know.
Right.
It weren't that. This was a lot bigger, geezer. Honestly, big
Actually,
fuck.
most
Don't know what
people
it is.
should know what an Aussie cattle dog looks like if they've seen the original Mad Max movie,
Yeah,
because that's a
they're
typical.
protective as fuck as well, geezer. My mate had one here.
They are vicious, apparently.
Fucking mental.
Yes,
They're mental.
I knew a guy who had one. He was actually he was a Kiwi, but he lived in Australia, and he said he had one of them dogs, and you know he said he couldn't pick up a stick of any description, whether it be a crutch if he had a broken leg or anything. This dog would latch onto it. This stick, right? Loved to play with sticks for some reason, right? He said, and one day he thought he'd test the dog, and he slapped this branch quite high on the tree, and the dog jumped up on it and latched onto it and was there for about 6 or 7 minutes trying to get this branch off the tree, you know, yanking away at it.
Yeah.
And I said to him, you know what, that's a similar story. My mate, the guy I was watching the final with tonight, actually, he used to have a boxer called Rowdy, and he did a similar thing. But that dog used to hang off of that branch for like half an hour or more until you cool him down. The dog just latched on and wouldn't let go. But this Aussie cattle dog was similar. It grabbed onto it and like,
Oh, they're crazy.
once he realised he weren't moving it, he moved on. But this boxer wasn't, you know.
The first cattle dog I met, like, was the guy I played football with, Russell. And he used to go around his house, like, we used to go for a barbecue or whatever and a beer. And he'd greet us at the gate, and we'd go into his house, right? And he had a cattle dog there, and he's fucking lovely, right? And you know, you could pat him and all that, right? Done, sweet, all night, sweet. As soon as you walked out of that fucking gate, he went bonkers. You're the other side of the gate of the house. He wanted to fucking rip your throat out. It went mental.
I used to have a dog called Moses that was like that. He was a big tricoloured black, tan and white bulldog, right? Huge thing. He probably weighed somewhere around 8 stone, 7.5, 8 stone. Huge, great thing he was. And he was just like that. Just like that. And in the end, I had to put him into a kennel and run. Then I had the problem of having to go and clean out the kennel run, giving him his food, changing the water, you know, opening the gate up to take him for a walk or whatever. If you had the lead in your hand, he was fine. If I didn't have a lead in, even if I had his bowl of food in my hand, the dog used to jump up at the gate and snarl and drool and bark.
It's crazy, yeah.
Mental,
just amazed me. I had 2 hours of petting him. Not a problem. You know, he's a lovely dog, just a lovely dog.
Oh,
yeah, great.
Gate, mate, all of
a
sudden,
the gate, that's it. You're the enemy outside that gate. You're getting it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I can't believe how
Cieran,
ferocious he was.
Usual wants to know, do the drunks in the outback still box kangaroos?
They might do, geezer. I haven't seen any film of it lately, but I'm sure they do.
Yeah, Paul is asking, should we trust Paul Flicker? Good evening, Paul. He's asking, should we trust Potter with, and I think Randy's asking, with the rebuild.
Oh, that's the biggest question ever, geezer, do we?
That is
I'm not so sure, but
yeah.
Thing is, I think we're going to have to either trust him with it or fuck him off, one or the other. So it's up to that.
Cieran, how did you find working with Nick from Claret and Booze? And he's glad that you defended Soucek.
Yeah, Nick's all right. Nick's a good geezer. I think he can be a bit harsh on Soucek.
I'll be back.
And I decided to stick up with Soucek. So, yeah. You know what I mean? He's good. He's a good lad. He's passionate geezer. He wants to see the best for West Ham, like we all do. And but I think he can be over the top with Soucek. And I do believe when I said to you, I think you got PTSD with Moyes and Soucek, because when he was poor that season, Damien, when Soucek was poor, like I said, he played every minute for the Czechs, every minute for us. Moyes kept throwing him on there. He was out of form. And I think poor old Nick just sees Soucek as a Moyes thing, whatever you want to do. An extended arm of Moyes, and I think he's got it in for it. But yeah, he's good, man. Nick's fine. He just gets a bit over the top sometimes when he gets so passionate. Lucky for us, like when we do our show, it's usually, we do it on a Wednesday night for you guys. Whatever shit's gone on the weekend, we've calmed down from that. He does the after match shows, so he's still fucking wound up by it. Because I was laughing because I said to him, Fabianski should start this game, and Soucek a score on it. I said, and in that first 2 minutes, Soufal put that ball over, cracking header by Soucek, great save by the keeper, and I was going, this is good. And then, but really, we didn't see much of Soucek after that. And then Silly Bollocks fucking gives them the goal, doesn't he? The opening goal. And Areola went up for fuck. I told you we should have fucking started Fabianski. But, it was good.
Right, so I hope that satisfied your question there, Damien. Neil says, yep, Shepherds are beautiful dogs, but fucking mad as well. Currently have 11-month-old St. Bernard Newfoundland pup. 8 stone already, and still
fucking
got about 7 months of growth. Mate, if he's 11 months,
Jesus, man. He's got St. Bernard.
Chance that dog might grow right up until he's almost 3, Neil. Trust me, mate.
That slobbery fucking thing. All over the place.
St. Bernard Newfoundland, 2 of the biggest fucking breeds in the world.
My mate, Geezer.
They've gone and crossbred them. Oh, mate.
Oh, my God. My mate had 2. He had 2 Newfoundlands, right? I'll tell you what. The 2 Newfoundland, beautiful dogs, man. Fucking cracking dogs. Absolutely stunning. One of them got done by a snake, Geezer. One of them got fucking bit by a snake and they lost him.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because he lived on a bit of a property, right next to a creek running through his property, which is where you find the snakes, near creeks. Yeah. And, the fucker bit his Newfoundland and fucking done him. Got him to the vet, but, he had an heart attack, apparently, with the venom.
Yeah, that's the one.
But beautiful. The other one, mate, I used to do a lot of work around his property, right? And turn up every morning to beat the other guys up. Oh, fuck me, I forgot his name. He'd greet me every morning. Such a gorgeous dog, but big and hairy. Not ideal for Brisbane, Queensland weather, the Newfoundlands. And they're always slobbering all over the place. They drink about 50 fucking litres of water a day.
Yeah, mate.
But a beautiful dog. Beautiful dog.
That's like my dogs, mate. They not so much when they're a house dog, but the bulldogs. When you kennel them, they tend to drink, I don't know, a standard bucket every 2 days, I suppose. So half a bucket a day. What's the bucket hold? 5 gallons. So about 2.5 gallons of water a day them dogs can drink.
Yeah, they were constantly drinking. I mean, he's sitting on his balcony it's fucking 90 to 100 degrees. And these dogs are forever drinking water. Because they're big, hairy fuckers, man. They're not suited for fucking Australian weather.
Nah,
sure.
Mate, no, definitely not. Definitely not. Let's move on. What we got here? Here we go. Randy's asking, off football, what do you both going to be doing during the break from the season? Well, we're still going to do the shows, aren't we, mate?
Yeah, we'll do it. Just
and
talk about
I'm
load of nonsense like we are now.
Is I'm hoping that in the near future, I can't put a time scale on it because I've got to try and arrange two different people's schedules. Not arrange them, but work around two different people's schedules. I know one's slightly easier than the other, but I'm hoping to get a couple of ex-players on with us one evening. And they did actually play in the same time period, so they will know each other quite well. And I'm hoping to get them on so that we can have like an open Q&A and a bit of a remembering back to some other times at Upton Park, you know.
And if not, we'll talk about dogs and crocs and sharks.
Yeah, and then fucking magpies chasing him. Yeah, mate. Yeah, we'll always come up with something, and you know, like we know we
could be talking about some of the greatest signings we've ever made as well, Keith. You never know, you're up in the big city.
You never know. You know, Kylian Mbappe gets the number 53 shirt.
The Mille Mar. Fuck it.
But you know, we'll be doing shows. We'll be doing some football talk when there's anything to chat about. But you know, we'll also talk some music, talk some movies, talk some food. We'll even get Charlie Walsh on and see
what
he's got cooking. You know what I mean? We'll try and get some guests on during the close season. It makes it, you know, a bit more fun for the audience and for us as well, mate. You know.
Yeah, fuck them.
We'll probably be doing most of them as we are now. But and we will also we'll
let the chat direct the fucking conversation.
I've already spoken to Russ about this. Also, we may even throw an open forum, give people 10 minutes, you know, like Russ does. He gives people 10 minutes. And yes, Damien, that means you, 10 minutes. So get your script written, mate. But yeah, we're definitely. I'm only taking the piss, Damien. You know I am. But we are definitely going to have an open forum one evening. We get 2 or 3 people to come in and give them 10, 15 minutes or so. Yeah, we're going to have lots of stuff going on during the close season, mate. There will be time,
except transfer rumours, right? We leave that to
fucking. We will be avoiding like the bloody plague, and there will also
unless it's about to happen.
There may also be a week or so that I might not be able to do the show if my holiday plans come to fruition. Right. Yeah. So, next, Norfolk, definitely not, he says. Why not Norfolk? But could you pluck a terrier out of Janet Street Porter's mouth, Budgie?
No, that's a fucking challenge, isn't it?
Not unless I've got hydraulic jack with me, I don't suppose.
Yeah.
That's fucking all right, wouldn't you?
No, that's gone a bit far, isn't it? Fuck's sake, man.
But lively and playful. Yeah, they are. Best dog Rich ever had was a German Shepherd, and I don't doubt it, mate. I am not saying they're a shit dog. Not by any stretch of the imagination.
No, they're a lovely dog, man.
My preferred type of dog, and actually a Malinois, as I said, in my opinion, is a better all-round dog. Even a Malinois isn't a dog that I would have. Actually, that's not strictly true because I would have one, but I wouldn't go out and source one. I would probably take one if it was offered to me. You know, I wouldn't go out and look for one because I'm a bulldog man. I like dogs with short faces, you know. So
yeah,
I like with short noses, but you know. Can't have it.
I've just realised, you know what I said about that dog that this Australian farmer had? Grabbed the lamb and dropped it back to the... I said herd. And it's a fucking flock, isn't it? Come on. I got that wrong. It's a fucking flock.
That's all right, mate. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah. I just thought someone had pulled one by now. Yeah.
Damien wants to know what the name of my book is. Right, so I am going to put it into the chat because it's easier than me saying it.
All dogs are fuckers. Didn't sell very well. My mate, fucking, when I went back to the UK, when I come to see you, Budgie, and that, my mate, first time I seen him, he's always had staffies, right? Always, all his life. Crap. One of his staffies was the most beautiful dog I've ever met. But anyway, now he's got a French bulldog. What a fucking little bastard that is. Horrible little fucker. Snappy, fucking barky, horrible fucker, man. Hated it. Wanted to kick his fucking head in. It's just a horrible dog. Are they normally like that, French bulldogs, or is it just his?
Yeah, they can be horrible little bastards.
He weren't nice at all, mate. He didn't, he couldn't take to him at all. He was a fuckhead. Bite everything. Bite your jacket, bite your feet, bite your leg. Fucking nightmare.
Yeah. You won't recognise the name on there, Damien, unless you know my real name, which is Clive Treelevick. So, yeah, that will be the name that comes up when you have a look. You'll probably find it on Amazon. There's probably about 15 copies available out of the 2,000 we printed. Not many of them left. Who remembers when Lopetegui was West Ham manager?
I don't think we're ever going to forget it, mate. We're not going to forget it, mate.
Yeah. Cieran, James Vardy to West Ham. Here we go.
Yes, yeah. You're right, David. We'll renew fucking Antonio and get Vardy in. Perfect. Yeah, 70 years of age, the two of them. Between
we're going to recall Bonner and Andy Carroll's going to be our marquee.
Oh, God. Zuma will be back, mate. Zuma will be back. It's all working out, mate. It's all working out. Oh, nice to see Vardy get his 200th goal on the weekend. No, I was delighted for him. That was nice for him, yeah.
Actually, you know what? It was nice when they interviewed him on the pitch side. It was nice when they said something to him about, what does it mean to you? Like, this is your last home game and stuff. He said, well, you can see what it means to me. He said, you should be asking them that. And he put his arm out to the crowd.
Oh, that's a nice way. It was his 500th game and his 200th goal. Yeah. That's not a bad one.
Nah.
Because apparently he's not playing the very last game. He reckons that was it. He wanted to round it off at 500.
And job at home, yeah.
Yeah, and finish at home. So maybe, fantastic. I was delighted for him, Being a big thing in the Premier League, that boy. He really has.
Yeah. Damien says, Andy Carroll's still going. What a boy. And he scored at the weekend. Yeah, mate. I love Andy Carroll. I do. I like his attitude, though, more than he's playing. I like his attitude. I think he's he reminds me of the kind of players that we would have played alongside back in the day, when we were amateur players. He reminds me of the kind of guys that you would have in your changing room, Andy Carroll. Ponytail, bottle of scotch in his kit bag. You know the kind of guy I mean,
Yeah.
That's what I loved about him. Rich is saying, had a cross-border collie called Major, named after John. Oh, my God. Sad way to name
That's a worry, Rich.
Sad way to name your dog.
Well, actually, now he says that. Rich says that, right? That fucking little French bulldog, my mate. God, he called him Boris after Boris Johnson.
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, no, how bad is it? Called him Boris.
Remember when we were winding up Mama Flossie about adopting Big Andy Carroll? Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, and shit, I'll tell you what, Mama Flossie's great for a giggle. She is funny. Makes me giggle anyway. Damien still thinks about the goal he scored at home against Palace.
Oh, that was a fucking screamer, wasn't it?
Was that the overhead kick?
Like a side kick, bicycle kick, bang,
yeah,
cracker. Absolute beauty, yeah. It was. That was a bit special.
Actually, very similar to the Kudus goal not too long back. In last season, I think it was.
Yeah, but better. It was just better.
Goal. Oh, yeah. Especially as the fact that Andy Carroll was running to get his head on it and found out the ball was going behind him. And that was all just all instinctive.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Beautiful. Lovely
and
finish. What
I watched yesterday, we were just talking about goals. That Marmouche goal for City yesterday. Fucking hell, man. 30-odd yards out, hitting the top corner. But one of the goals of the season, there's no doubt about that. It's a cracker. If you haven't seen it, Budge, but what a fucking strike.
I haven't seen any of the football from the last 2 or 3 days. I've been working away, and my signal has been absolute dog shit. So.
Yeah, I remember the hat-trick mark against Arsenal.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He always played with a smile on his face.
Could never be fit enough to keep him on the pitch long enough, eh? That was his only problem, man.
Yeah. Damien agrees with you. Marmouche's goal.
It was sucking absolute screamer. Fucking hell.
Yeah, that's true, Randy. Even Bowen's goal against Forest was a good goal, at least.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I had a cat called named after Maggie. Frog. Oh my god. Oh, we'd like to say out of a computer game. Right, well look, we've been going for an hour and 50 minutes, or best part of it. We are at the bottom of the chat, and I do know I've missed a lot of comments, but I apologise for that. I wanted to try and keep the chat as current as I could, without to go back too far. But thank you everybody for joining us. And Cieran, again, thank you for your early morning shenanigans, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Next week, the final week of the season.
Yeah, mate, all over Red Rover.
Yes, mate. So we will do a old school review of the season. So don't expect it to be accurate or serious.
Not serious. I think, Gazer, we'll do a prediction of the fucking game. I don't really give a fuck. Nobody does. The end of the season game doesn't mean anything to either of us. Be nice to get something on the board just to make sure we stay above fucking Man United and Tottenham. That'd be nice. But that's about it. But I think we're going to go there, mate, and even though I said this against Forest and it didn't happen, we're going to beat them 3-2. How's that? Ipswich 2, West Ham 3. There you go.
I'm going to go with Ipswich 1, West Ham 3.
Fucking hell, mate. We're scoring goals, Gazer. We're scoring goals next week.
I'm looking at a Jared Bowen brace and a Thomas Soucek nodding from a corner. How about that?
I just want Soucek to score, mate. That's all I want.
Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
He tried his hardest, didn't he, last weekend? He tried his hardest.
Yeah. How about that? Soucek scores, Creswell scores, And he comes on in the last 5 minutes and scores.
Not happening. Not happening. It's probably going to be a 0-0, but fuck it. Last game goes, we go 3-2. Yeah.
Thank you, Kieran and chat. Any summer shows coming? Love the show. Yes, mate. Lots of stuff coming up.
Cheers, Mark.
And I think we're going to be having another time change soon, aren't we? The summer clock.
Not for you.
No.
No. The only time it changes is when I change. No, we'll be doing this same time for you every week.
Oh yeah, it's always yeah.
It's only me that changes.
Yeah. When does that happen?
When your clocks change next, Geezer. So it's well after the summer.
Oh right. Oh, so we were already on.
When your clocks, when your clocks change for winter, that's when. It only means that I do it at 8 o'clock in the morning instead of 7 o'clock. At the moment, I'm doing it at 7.
Okay.
So it doesn't change for you.
If I do arrange to get these ex-players on, and they want to do it slightly earlier, I mean, a 7:30 start for you would be acceptable, would it?
Yeah, if it's a special occasion, Geezer, I'm sure I can manage getting up earlier.
I mean, what I'm thinking is that, you know, the audience would probably appreciate those kind of shows being a tad earlier. Yeah.
Do it an hour early if you have to. I'll just get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Don't worry about me, son. You worry about them fucking ex-players. Fuck them.
Rich, it's a great show again, people. Sorry for being late. Good luck and good health to both of you and everyone in the chat.
Yeah, good luck to you, Ricky boy. And thanks for tuning in, Geezer.
Damien says the potable revolution begins.
It does, mate. For good or bad, it started.
Oh yeah, where was that? I can't find it now, but oh god. Mark Pendleton said, "Can we talk about current?" No, what was it? Can we talk about raisins? That's current or something. And as long as nobody's raising an objection, yeah. Vlad brace. Oh, wouldn't that be good? He's never had a goal for us. It's last game he'll ever play. Bloke gets the brace. Love that. Ian thinks we limp over the line with a dull 1-1.
Yeah, Ian, that's probably more a practical scoreline. That's what I'm thinking. But fuck it, I'm going for 3-2. We're going to do the fuck.
Yeah. It's going to be close, but most likely it'll be a 1-0 away win.
We were competitive.
And Potter saying we were competitive. Oh, JWP.
Oh, there you go, David. That'd be a fucking rarity, wouldn't it?
With David Beckham. That'd be nice. Yeah, I'm with you, Rich. 3-1 West Ham. I can't see them scoring more than one goal. Fabianski to score a penalty. I am not showing that comment again, Damien. The hashtag Potter one. I'm not showing it. Not doing it. Thanks, Budgie and Cieran.
Okay.
Thank you for that, mate. You know your friends are, Cieran.
We do.
Damien loves
people on the chat like friends. No one else is.
Yeah. Damien said he thought that Vlad looked decent this season in amongst the shower that was. Whatever happens, I like to say thanks for the shows, Budgie and Cieran. Enjoyed the shows, and even if Budgie had technical difficulties. Cheers, Randy. Much appreciated. Love your feedback.
Cheers, Randy.
Guys, don't forget, this show stays on YouTube, so it'd be nice if you go back, just click on it, leave a comment on the comment section. That'd be really nice, and if you haven't already liked the stream, please give it a thumbs up. Or a thumbs
if you
down.
do, even if you do leave a comment, it better be fucking nice, or you're getting it. So you tell Rusty and fucking Anthony how brilliant we are.
That's it, mate.
Not that they give a shit, but
not in this place, mate. Start Fabianski, I think so. I agree with that.
I thought we should have done against Forest. I was amazed that we didn't. Amazed we didn't.
Good evening to you, sir. Big up, lads.
Yes, sir, Anthony Herbert.
Is that?
I do, Anthony. Big hands, mate. Big hands. You can't fault him. Big hands is better than Arteta. Simple as that, mate. Hey, he's got a trophy on the board. What do you got this year? Fuck all. Simple as that.
Damien said, I left you in the lurch, leaving you to discuss transgenders. Right, there you go. Mark has quantified what
Mark,
you said.
Mark, son. He's a winner. Everywhere he goes, mate, he wins.
Yeah, Cieran needs to have a drink with Ange.
I'd love to, man.
Yeah,
man. I'd love to. He's got a lot. He's got a love. No, you got to remember, Geezer. He came to Brisbane Raw, and in his second season, won the fucking title, and I think he won it the next year as well. And for about 3 years there, Brisbane dominated the A-League, and now they've been shit ever since. And that was down to Big Ange. So he's got a lot of love in Brisbane, Big Ange, all right, and Queensland. There you go. Then he done it everywhere else, and now he's done it again. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's for fucking Tottenham. But what do you do?
He said he always wins something in his second season, and he's
always wins something in his second season. Yeah, fucking that Cundy wanker, that fucking Cundy, and all them wanker talk sports that slagged him off about saying that. I hope they're fucking chewing on their fucking spit. Wankers. There you
go. Yeah. Budgie going to have a deal with Jose, the Spurs fan, gloating soon. Nah, mate. No, I mean...
Yeah, he'll be a happy boy this week, won't he? He'll be a happy boy.
Every Spurs.
Oh, he's another one, wants Ange out. He wants Ange out. 17 fucking years, Tottenham. 17 years. You brought all the big managers in, all the big names. You won fuck all. It took an Australian, right? A Greek Australian, by the way. Took a Greek Australian to fucking show you the way and win a trophy for you. What more can you say?
Rich says, don't mind.
That's me, Rich. That's me, Rich. I love Big Ange. I didn't want fucking Spurs winning it, but I wanted Ange to do well. That's how I feel. And that can't change.
Yeah.
There you go.
You just know the media will release a story. Ange has been sacked. You know it, but let's see.
Well, I think eventually there could be an agreement. I don't know.
Yeah. Slight disagreement with you there, Damien. He brought Aussie rules to the Premier League and won. He didn't brought it to the Europa League and won. But, yeah, that's about right. Guys, girls, thank you ever so much for joining us. We are going to make a move now, and it'll be nice to see you next week. End of the season, so we'll do a little old school review. We will chat about some of the stuff we've got planned for the summer shows, and hopefully we'll have a couple of guests on next week. Not necessarily the ex-players, but I think we might have one of the West Ham Network guys in, at least one. And, you know, we may even open the forum a little bit for everybody next week.
Yeah.
See what happens.
See if we'll give Kingy an invite. We can have the.
Yeah, we got Ryan coming in next week as well. Yeah. Love to everyone. Enjoy your week. Blah blah blah. Have a great week.
Yeah, be good. Be nice. Be nice to your neighbour.
Yeah.
Even if he is a wanker.
Yeah. And never shove your granny when she's shaving.
Never shove your granny when she's safe. You know the rules, son. You know the rules.
Mate, it's been about a year or more since I last heard that phrase. Brilliant.
Yeah, mate.
Right, guys, girls. I played the wrong fucking outro.
Oh,
Don't
well.
matter. Don't matter. I like that outro though. It just
Have you ended that stream, Peter? Have you ended it?
Yeah, yeah, we're done. We're out. Hey, no, we're not.